Hi class, welcome to Module 4. This is the final module of this course. In this presentation, I'll go over any announcements, I'll provide an efficient research tip, I'll review the final assignment, and also give a brief Module 4 overview. So announcements, this is the final module. You have made it to Module 4. After this class is over. So I hope you all have learned a lot and enjoyed. And once you submit your final assignment, you don't need to worry about this class and can focus on everything else you have to do. So an efficient research tip. Time management. Time management can be difficult, especially when you have lots of things going on. So a few tips for managing your time effectively. One is plan your work ahead. And I'm going to use the final assignment as I discuss these tips. When you get the final assignment, read the whole assignment. Read all of the information, all of the instructions, and make sure you understand what is required. And that will help you plan your time accordingly. Then set shorter deadlines. You're going to have the ultimate deadline of March 10th. That's when you have to submit the final assignment. But as you look at the final assignment, you'll see areas where maybe you could do part 1. Maybe you could then complete part 2 and set shorter deadlines. And that will help you from procrastinating. If you have shorter deadlines, say in 1 week I'm going to complete part 1, and then in a week and a half I'll complete part 2. Those shorter deadlines give you targets, and that will help you keep on track. Another tip is to focus on one task at a time. And this can be very difficult because you have multiple things getting your attention, but if you can focus on one task at a time, it actually helps you be more efficient and manage your time more effectively. So using the final assignment again as an example, when you're working on the final assignment, just focus on the final assignment. Don't think about what you have to do for another class or what you have to do for clinic. Try to keep that out of your mind. And this goes to the next point, minimize interruptions. Something that I've been trying to do is shutting off notifications. For example, shutting off my notification about email, silencing my phone so if a text comes in, I'm not hearing it, and shifting my focus to my phone. Minimizing interruptions will help you stay focused on one task and will make you much more efficient researcher, because every time you shift focus, you're spending what are known as shift costs. You're wasting time shifting your focus. So try to minimize interruptions. So those are my suggestions on time management tips. Now let's look at the final assignment. The final assignment is due Sunday, March 10th by 11:59 p.m. You have 3 weeks to complete the final assignment. You get an extra week because it is a longer assignment and it is worth more points. The total points possible for the final assignment is 60. There's a rubric posted on Blackboard along with the final assignment. Please review that rubric. That will tell you how I'm going to grade, what I'm looking for. The content coverage. The final assignment includes topics covered in all the modules for this course. So anything from module 1, 2, 3, and 4 is in this final assignment. And you may refer to any of that content covered. You still have access to modules 1, 2, 3, and you'll have access to module 4. So you can go back to things and review as needed. The general format of the final assignment is you'll have one hypothetical fact pattern, which you'll use to complete 4 parts. Part 1 is a research plan. Part 2 is questions. Part 3 is a short essay. And part 4 is a research log. Part 1 will be a research plan, and you have an example on Blackboard of a research plan. You should follow that format. Part 2 is questions, and these are very similar to the short answer questions that you've been doing all semester with the other assignments. Part 3 is a short essay, and this is an essay where you'll draw together all the research that you've done in Part 2 and bring it all together and write a short essay. It's composed as if you're composing a memo to your supervisor about a particular legal issue. So it's short. I'm not going to be grading on your writing. This isn't a writing class. This isn't lawyering. I'm not grading on writing. So don't spend a lot of cognitive energy on grammar and does it sound good. I'm not going to grade you on the writing. I just want to see you bring all the research together and formulate an opinion on a particular issue based on that research. And then part 4 is a research log. You have examples of research logs on Blackboard. There's 2 formats. One is an outline format, one is a table format. You can use either format. I don't care. Just use what works best for you. And what should go in the research log is described in the instructions and is on Blackboard. And this is a way to track your research. And it's also a way for me to see what research you found. I can access it. It helps me as well. So that is the general format of the final assignment. You will get much more instructions in the final assignment. As I said when I was talking about time management tips, the first thing you should do is read everything. Read all the instructions, read all the questions. Make sure you know what I am asking for. And then ask me follow-up questions. I am happy to clarify anything. But do that early on so you can plan ahead and don't wait until the last minute. This is a longer assignment and it is worth more points. So Module 4, important dates. The module is accessible on February 19th. Your first discussion board post, your original post, is due February 25th. Your response post is due March 3rd, and then the final assignment is due March 10th. One of the things you'll look at in Module 4 is court dockets. And I wanted to go over some terminology here because there might be some terminological confusion, because last week we talked about regulatory dockets. A docket is generally just a register of records. It's an accumulation of documents and records. When we talk about regulatory dockets, it's the accumulation of documents associated with the rulemaking process. For example, federal dockets on regulations.gov. You went there last week to look for comments that had been submitted during the rulemaking process. That's what we mean by regulatory dockets. This week, we're going to look at case, or what might be referred to as court dockets. And this is the record of proceedings of a court case. In Module 4, we're focusing on court docket research. So again, a case docket is a record of the proceedings of a court case. It lists the judge, parties, and the attorneys of record, and also lists the documents filed in a court case. On Bloomberg Law and other systems, you might also have access to those documents. So you might be able to access the complaint, the briefs, amicus briefs that were filed. All dockets will have a number, and this is the number assigned by the court after the case is filed. And the formatting might vary by courts, but it might include a number or letter indicating the court, a 2-digit number to identify the year, the case type. CV means it's a civil case, CR is for criminal cases, and a 4 or 5-digit case number, and sometimes the judge's initials. For example, here's an example of a court docket number that uses all of that. 1 would be associated with the court. 21 is the year. CV means this is a civil case. 5, 6, 7, 8 is the 4 or 5-digit case number. and MW means the judge's initials. Now, this format isn't used in every court and it might vary, but if you see a number like this, you're likely dealing with a docket number. The other thing we'll be looking at in Module 4 is evolving technologies. And this picture might look familiar if you think way back to our first module. I think I used this picture in the introduction to the course slide when talking about evolving technologies and the importance of adaptability. Developments in generative AI specifically are quickly changing the technologies we are using to perform legal research and legal work. For example, just in the time that you've been in this course, the 6-7 weeks, Westlaw has introduced their AI systems. Lexis has introduced their AI systems. There have been a lot of other developments. Things are moving quickly. And I'll be honest, it was really difficult to determine how best to approach evolving technologies for this class because things are changing so quickly. So my biggest thing I have to stress to you is just be adaptable. Things might change tomorrow. They might literally change tomorrow. So being adaptable is really important. In this module, you're going to look at Lexis plus AI, as well as Westlaw's AI systems. You'll be learning about Lexis plus AI during this module and going over some content to help you understand what it can and can't do. In order to access Lexis plus AI, there are 2 ways you can do this. This is an image of the main screen of Lexis. So when you log on, this is likely what you see. There's 2 ways you can access the AI assistant. One way is in this upper left-hand corner. You'll see on this tab that says AI assistant. You can click on that. Another way is if you click on that grid, which is next to the Lexis Plus logo, that brings a drop-down menu and you can click on Lexis Plus AI. Both of those, if you click on them, will bring you to this screen. This is the Lexis plus AI technologies that as a law student you have access to. You have access to ask a legal question, generate a draft, and summarize a case. We're specifically going to be looking at ask a legal question. This is the chatbot. So similar to what you might find on generative AI systems as ChatGPT or Bard, which is now Gemini. This is a chatbot where you enter a question and it gives you a response. So this is the ask a legal question. You can also create a new conversation. So you can ask a legal question, and if you want to shift to a different legal question, you then click on create new conversation. Westlaw, their AI systems are underneath the practical law aspect of Westlaw. So how you access practical law and thereby Westlaw AI is first by clicking on the little arrow, which you'll find next to Westlaw Precision on the Westlaw main page, and that brings down this drop-down menu. Then click on Practical Law. That will bring you to the Practical Law page, and then on the right-hand side is the Ask Practical Law AI, which you can access from here, and then that will bring up the Westlaw chatbot. Similar to Lexis, it has you ask questions. You can also, they have tips for best results on how to compose your questions. Also, it has a description of how it works. The main differences between the Westlaw and the Lexis systems and things like generative, like ChatGPT or Bard, is that Westlaw and Lexis are only drawing from their individual systems. So the Lexis chatbot will only draw from Lexis content. It doesn't go out into all of the internet. It doesn't draw information from that. It just draws from Lexis. Similarly, Westlaw only draws from Westlaw content. This is one way that Lexis and Westlaw are trying to prevent the hallucinations that you may have heard about in lawyers using things like ChatGPT or Gemini or other chatbots. And hallucinations are where the system just makes up cases. Lexis and Westlaw, hopefully by drawing from just their individual content, will prevent hallucinations. These systems are very new. They're rather bare bones, and their utility right now is not very great. But we anticipate that Lexis and Westlaw are going to continue to develop. They'll continue to make more robust systems. It was probably more of a business decision to come out this early because everybody's coming out with their AI systems. So Lexis and Westlaw felt the need, we need to have something. They're going to get better. How they're going to develop, we don't really know. I wish I could tell you how you can use these systems in a month, a year from now. It goes back to adaptability. As you play around with them, I fully support messing around with them, playing around with them to understand their quirks. One thing that I've heard from other law librarians and other legal professionals that have used these systems more than I have today is that oftentimes the cases that they give you, they're real cases, but they might not be the most appropriate. They might be unpublished. They might not be relevant to your jurisdiction. So you always have to be careful. Don't trust the system. Always verify. That is it. I hope you all have enjoyed this course. I am always here to help you even after this course. If you have any research questions, if you have any questions about finding things in the library, please don't hesitate to ask. If you have questions about Module 4, if you have questions about the final assignment, please let me know. I'm always happy to answer questions and clarify any information. I've had a wonderful semester, and I hope the rest of your semester is great. Thank you so much.